Another month has passed, so it's time to have a look at everything that I made in August. So the first thing that is on the list is I actually started these in July, so I will have spoken about them in the last video briefly, is a pair of socks. So these socks were for a raffle prize for a raffle that we did at work to raise money for the Children's Hospital here in Manchester. I hadn't made these ahead of the raffle. I wanted to make them to the size of the person who would be getting them, or the size that they wanted if they wanted them for someone else. And I was originally going to buy a new ball of yarn to make these, but I had come across a video by the Crazy Sock Lady, I think it was. If I can find the link, I'll post it in the description below either way. I think I did that last time. That rings a bell. But anyway, I'll do it again this time because you might not have seen the other one. And the method has worked really, really well. I'm so happy with how these socks came out. The person who received them was very much looking forward to getting them as well. And she seemed quite happy when I gave them to her. So I've not had a report back since, but I'm going to assume, because I've heard nothing, that they have functioned well as a pair of socks. The next thing that I started was a blanket for Ellie. So Ellie is my colleague, the lady on my team who I made the guinea pigs for the other month, and she also does like eyelashes and nails and things, and she wanted a nice little blanket to have on her lash table, so if people, while they're getting their lashes done, if they want to get a bit snuggly, they've got a little blanket they can put over themselves. She chose the colours. I basically just showed her the page where the colours were on the website that I get the yarn from, and she chose the colours she wanted to match her beauty room. And I've seen some photos of the blanket in place, and it absolutely ties in together with the room. It's absolutely lovely. She gave me free rein on the pattern itself because she didn't really have any solid ideas of what she wanted, and she would be happy with whatever I made. So I cracked out the kaleidoscope because I really like making these ones. I added a couple of rows at the top and the bottom. I say a couple, I think I added 6 rows to the top and the bottom to make it rectangular rather than square. And yeah, went down a treat. She absolutely loved it. Then I made a scrappy sock for myself. It went really well. This one is number 25 in my odd sock collection, so I have got quite a lot of socks now. I used the same methods as I did for the pair of socks for the raffle prize, and it went really well. The only thing is I realised that I did all of like the really colourful yarns at the beginning, and then the end was just sort of like whites, blues and greys. And I wish I'd kind of mix them up a little bit more, but the trouble is I was just grabbing whatever I had out of the bag, and I just didn't want any repeats, so I should have maybe planned it out a little bit better, or maybe I'm just thinking about it too much and overthinking it, and it's absolutely fine as it is. This next one is a granny hex cardigan. It did start out life as a hoodie, or that was the intention originally, but as I was making it, after I'd made the 2 hexagons, for one for each side, I realised that there wasn't actually any point in me making a hoodie because I very rarely wear hoodies, and when I do, I don't wear the hood, so it wouldn't actually be much use. It would be a waste of yarn almost for me to make a hood that I know I'm not going to use. So I just made it into a normal cardigan. The handy thing about this is because I've made some sort of detailed notes which I'm going to type up into my patterns document, I now have sort of the the formula for a base cardigan, because this you can make a lot longer, you can make or keep it shorter, and that sort of thing. Like you can make full length sleeves because these are about 3/4 length, and with the cuff I push them up to my elbows because that's just where I feel comfortable with a sleeve. So it's a good jumping off point for any hexagon cardies that I make with a double knit yarn, because usually I just wing it as I go along, but I really probably should be making making more notes when it comes to these things so I can redo them in the future if I want to. It is finished as it is, but I think I will add some more pink around the outside because I want it a little bit longer, but I also would like a bit more of a collar and a lapel almost at the front, but in its current state it is completely usable. Then I made another sock. This one is number 26 in the odd sock collection. I've made it with the Soggy Kookaburra yarn Space the Final Frontier, and honestly this picture does not do the yarn justice at all. I wish I was much better at taking photos. Maybe I should probably put effort into learning that, but It's got a lovely shimmer to it because it's got stellina throughout it, so that kind of gives it a nice glittery shine. And the way that the pink interacts with just because of the number of stitches that I've done, it's interacted in a really nice way to make a kind of weaving nebula galaxy sort of pattern, as you can see in this photo. And I really, really like that. Like, it worked so well. I'm absolutely so pleased with it. I've still got quite a lot of that yarn left because each sock is probably only about 40 grams, I think. And the yarn balls are like 100 grams, so I've still got quite a bit left. I won't make another sock with it, but I might make a pair of fingerless gloves. As I mentioned, I have got quite a lot of socks. I now have 26 socks in the Odd Sock collection. So I have been thinking, and I'm going to make 4 more socks for myself for the Odd Sock collection, and then that's it. I'm not going to make any more socks for myself. I will still make socks for friends, family, etc. My dad usually has a pair of socks every year for Christmas or birthday, so he'll still get his socks. Or if anyone else wants any. If you do, let me know. I will endeavour to get you a pair of socks made. The sooner I know, the better, even if it's for Christmas. I know it's really early, but if you want a pair of socks for Christmas, let me know now so I can get the yarn in and get knitting. The next thing I have started but I've not finished yet is a shawl. This is with a cotton yarn that is called, it's from Cotton Kings, and it's called Sultan Shadow, and it's absolutely gorgeous. The yarn goes from a colour, because there's lots of colours, into black, and the transition is so smooth, it works so well. And I got 3 yarn cakes of it. I got a green, sort of inky blue, and a purpley colour. All go into black. They start off that sort of colour purely because it was on offer and it looks really nice. I didn't have anything in mind when I bought them, but I didn't want to miss the chance to get them while they were on offer. So I was sort of racking my brains, wasn't sure what to make with the yarn. I'm not entirely sure where I came across it, but I saw a picture of a shawl that someone had bought in a charity shop or a thrift shop. Must have been on Facebook for me to see that kind of thing. And I loved the shape of it. I thought it looked really nice. So I had a look at that, kind of zoomed in and tried to figure out for myself exactly how it was. I don't think mine is exactly the same, but it basically is, has 5 points and then the 2 ends at the front. But 3 of the points are really prominent and the other 2 are a bit more subtle, but it ends up looking kind of spiderwebby, and I really like that. The way it's coming up so far looks really, really nice. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the other 2 because I don't need a massive amount of shawls, and I'm not sure exactly how big that one's going to be. I'll worry about that when I get to it, I think. And the last thing that I started was 2 days ago, and it's a cowl. I was having my daily saunter through Pinterest and saw some projects for using a skein of sock weight yarn that is not socks, and thought, well, I might as well give that a go because I've got this Rainbow Bridge yarn. I bought another skein of it, but I already have a sock made out of it, so I didn't want to make another sock because I've already got one. So that's it for the things that I made in August. There's a link to my link tree down below, and that will take you to wherever you want to go in my socials. If you'd like to join me on any other social medias, you can find me in those places. If you like this video, I make them every month, and I will continue making them for the foreseeable future, because it helps keep me accountable for the things that I do, and it means that I can explain things to do with the craft that don't annoy the people around me, because I am very much aware, maybe not justifiably so, but I'm very aware that I can go on at length about things to do with crafts, and I don't want to bore and annoy my friends and family. So this gives me a chance to do that without annoying people that don't want to listen to it. So thank you for listening, and congratulations if you've made it this far, and I'll see you in the next one.